Welcome to At the Bench. My name's John Simmers and I'm a professionally trained violin and bowmaker. In today's video, I'm going to be making some turning tool handles. So I usually make my own tool handles for chisels and gouges and things. I recently bought this fantastic little old English watchmaker's lathe. I'll put a photo in here. And I wanted to make some new turning tools for it. So I bought some high-speed steel and I've made that into a few types of chisels, and now I'm making the handles for them. It might be a bit boring, this one. Probably going to go for a while, but some people really like watching things being turned on a lathe, including me. It's just kind of fascinating. Here I'm fitting the blank of wood into the lathe between the two centres. This is nothing special, it's just a bit of Australian hardwood, some sort of eucalypt. I'm working fairly quickly here just to get rid of the excess bulk. You can notice the chips flying. At this stage we've got the blank turned round and I'm starting to think about fitting the ferrule to one end. I'm now knocking down the right hand side to bring it down to the right thickness to fit the brass ferrule. I'm measuring the inside of the ferrule with my calipers and I'll use that to make sure I'm pretty close to the right diameter on the blank. Okay, so now the ferrule is fitted and glued onto the end of the blank. Now I'm starting to rough out the profile using the round chisel. I like to change the speed of the lathe once I get closer. It allows me to do finer work. Now that I've got the ferrule fitted and the profile of the handle turned, I'm knocking down the left-hand side and I'll be making that a rounded end. Bit of sanding to smooth everything out, and then I wet the blank to raise the grain, and then I sand it again. The final finish I'm putting on here is shellac and oil, so basically French polishing it. Next step is to remove the centre and use the hole for the centre with the drill bit in the chuck on the end stock of the lathe. Then I'll drill a hole up the middle. That will allow me to insert the tool that I've made into the handle. There you have it, beautiful little handle made for my little chisel, made from 4mm square high-speed steel. I'll be using that on my beautiful little watchmaker's lathe for making bow buttons. And here's the first finished button off my new lathe. This is a cello button, and it's made from sterling silver and ebony. A little bit of time has passed since I shot that video of me turning tool handles on the lathe. I do apologise for my videos not being particularly high quality. They're just homemade videos and they take quite a lot of time, which I don't have much of. So I try and get something out. Hopefully it's useful and interesting. I generally only take repair work on instruments and bows that I've sold through my business. And I've been doing this quite a long time. So there's quite a lot of stuff out there that I take care of. By restricting it to that, it gives me time to do my own making and also restore the instruments in my own collection, which I then sell on. I buy instruments, restore them, and sell them. It's part of my business. Yesterday, a violin came in to have some maintenance work done, and in the process of communicating with the family, I was of the assumption, mistakenly, that it was an instrument that had been purchased from me. When they came in, as soon as they opened the case, I could see that that wasn't a violin that had come from this workshop. It was an old violin. It had multiple old bad repairs. The instrument was in a pretty poor shape. And what really upsets me and got me quite angry yesterday about this was it turns out that the communication we previously had was the family trying some instruments from here, and turned out that this was a violin they'd bought elsewhere. And it wasn't just a private sale, it was from a shop. And this violin just was not ready for sale. It has some serious problems. It had some really terrible repairs that have been done to it in the past. It had been really badly damaged at some stage, quite some time ago, and all of those old repairs were pretty poor, and some of the cracks were coming undone. And to sell an instrument like that is just atrocious. It just is beyond belief, and it upsets me. This sold for a substantial quantity of money. I actually don't really like getting into talking about the values of things. That's kind of subjective, and not every instrument of the same period or maker is worth the same. The condition is what's so important. So this family spent a significant amount of money on this instrument, tens of thousands of dollars. And even if it was in great, fantastic condition, maybe that's fine. Maybe it's worth even more than what they paid for it. But to sell an instrument that is such a mess, I just don't know how they can do it. And it makes me angry that these are families putting vast sums of money into buying instruments for their kids, buying them from what they appear to be, and the families consider them to be, legitimate businesses, but they obviously just don't know what they're doing. It really saddens me. Then they showed me the bow that they had, which came from another business. And I thought, well, maybe I could do the rehair for them. And that bow was such a mess too. The frog had cracks in it, had bits that had been broken off and put back on in the wrong place. The thumb projection had been filed down, and it was really thin and fragile. And I just had to say, look, I'm not willing to work on that bow. It got too many problems. And then they told me that they'd bought that at the same time as a violin, but from somewhere different. And that was also a lot of money they paid for it. Lots of money. People just need to lift their game. It's not good enough. It's really not good enough. If you don't know what you're doing, just don't do it.